And I don't know this Amber Heard lady who he was living with. She seems nice enough to me, very beautiful. This is what I think. I think things just escalate.
Spiral out of control.
Oh, but he's badass in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, look, he's fucking...
I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Phenomenal.
I love him. Phenomenal.
He's
the
really
chick
good.
is good. I love him.
He's a great actor.
In a new interview with Entertainment Weekly, Yates tells the outlet that despite an uptick in recent months of report of sexual harassment and abuse in the entertainment industry, he just doesn't quite see the correlation with his star, who has always been full of decency and kindness towards him. She manipulated him. Joe Rogan defends Johnny Depp against Amber. Video. Honestly, there's an issue at the moment when there's a lot of people being accused of things. They're being accused by multiple victims, and it's compelling and frightening, Yates told EW. With John, it seems to me there was one person who took a pop at him and claimed something. I can only tell you about the man I see every day. He's full of decency and kindness, and that's all I see. Whatever accusation was out there doesn't tally with the kind of human being I've been working with. Yates claimed that Depp has always been nice to him is certainly thin again. Anyone who has seen the Joe Rogan Experience knows that Joe has an opinion on pretty much everything. Much like Howard Stern, the man that opened the door for Joe to do what he does. Joe loved sharing his views with the world as well as coaxing his guests into commenting on the same subject matter. This is precisely what happened when Joe invited former child star Macaulay Culkin onto his insanely successful podcast. Many topics came up, but we're interested in what Joe and Macaulay Culkin had to say about another incredibly famous individual who is wrapped up in some big news, Johnny Depp. For the last couple of years, Johnny Depp's name has been dragged through the mud by his former partner Amber Heard. Many people have their own opinion about this conflict, but one thing's for sure. Neither Johnny nor Amber have fared well in the press for their alleged behavior. This makes it hard for anyone to truly come down on one or the other. Joe made the point that it might be because of his close relationship with a highly eccentric comic Doug Stanhope, who is known for getting into trouble. Joe then went on to explain that this type of behavior often happens when celebrities are working on high-paying projects that they don't really care about. He said that he says this as the guy who worked on the Fear Factor after a long day working laborious hours on a show or movie that means nothing to them. These actors and personalities just want to do things that make them happy, and that means spending all the money that they've earned. This means that they have to go out and earn more. Macaulay described that he has done everything he could to stay out of that loop, which is why he turned down a leading role on The Big Bang Theory. He said he wasn't impressed with the pitch of the show. "I'd have hundreds of millions of dollars if I dig that gig," he explained. "But at the same time, I'd be bashing my head against the wall." Joe Rogan is everywhere. This is because of the highly unrealistic prospect of him hosting one of the presidential debates. Regardless of what you think of that, the reason why this is even a conversation is that a huge audience is really interested in what Joe thinks, and Joe has made a ton of money because of it. Joe and Macaulay believe that this is exactly what happened to Johnny Depp. Exactly, since there are a number of old quotes where Johnny described how he loved doing obscure films and never wanted to become blockbuster boy. A New York judge has partially granted a petition from the Pirates of the Caribbean star to determine if Heard donated the entirety of her $7 million divorce settlement to the American Civil Liberties Union and to Children's Hospital Los Angeles as she pledged. As a result of the ruling, the ACLU must release documents that confirm whether Heard followed through on the donation promise, which has become a point of contention in the former couple's legal saga. Heard's claims against Depp were within the context of their marriage, not a professional situation, which is perhaps why he then thought it was necessary to invoke words of support from some of Depp's other exes, including Vanessa Paradis, Lori Ann Allison, and Winona Ryder. By testament, some of the women in Depp's life have said the same thing. "That's not the human being we know," Yates told EW. Yates added, "It's very different than cases where there are multiple accusers over many years that need to be examined, and we need to reflect on our industry that allows that to roll on year in and year out. Johnny isn't in that category in any shape or form. So to me, it doesn't bear any more analysis. It's a dead issue." In early 2016, Heard accused Depp of being emotionally and physically abusive during their short marriage, at one point releasing a video of Depp having a tantrum and a photo of herself with a black eye she attributed to Depp's alleged violence. Earlier this year, Depp and Heard's divorce was finalized, with the actor ordered to pay his ex-wife a settlement of $7 million. When David Yates' Fantastic Beasts series returned for a second feature next year, the Harry Potter spin-off will include a number of familiar faces, including Johnny Depp as the evil wizard Gellert Grindelwald. Despite consistent fan outcry against the casting of Depp, accused by his now ex-wife Amber Heard of domestic violence during their brief marriage, Yates maintains that such allegations do not impact his productions. Still, a number of fans have spoken out against Depp's casting in the series in recent months, leading to the creation of a slew of petitions asking for the part to be recast. While Depp was briefly seen in the first Fantastic Beasts film, for the majority of the feature he was disguised as another wizard played by Colin Farrell. He is expected to take a much more pivotal role in the next feature. That's no surprise as the film is titled Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, and will dive deeper into the startling deeds of his character, which she then pledged in full to the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles and the American Civil Liberties Union. Amber Heard admits to smashing a door into Johnny Depp's head before clocking him in the jaw in the latest bombshell in a series of explosive audio recordings obtained exclusively by DailyMail.com. The shocking tape suggests the Pirates of the Caribbean actor 56 was hit so hard by the bathroom door that it knocked him off his feet. Given how relevant Johnny Depp is, there's no wonder why Joe spoke about it on this show. Joe usually has a tons of perceptions, many negative about Hollywood celebrities, such as Gal Gadot, who has he feuded with. When Macaulay Culkin was on the Joe Rogan Experience, the topic of Johnny Depp came up with the two were discussing Mickey Rourke's fashion sense. Given how eccentric and odd their fashion senses, it was a natural transition. This is when the topic of his delayed and cancelled movies came up, as well as the fact that Johnny seems to be acting very strangely